Alright, everybody. Welcome back, Mike the Fixer here. I'm gonna work on this 2004 BMW Z4. I've had this in here before doing some stuff. The check engine light is on for a thermostat. Yes, you heard me right, a thermostat. So what BMW has done in its infinite wisdom is turned a mechanical object, a wax pellet thermostat that opens when it's hot, and they said, let's control that electronically. That'll make things so much easier, right? I guess it's for emissions, fuel economy, etc., etc. But here's what I got. This is a replacement. It's a Borg Warner. Bunch of numbers there. You can read it. But pretty simple job. Drain the coolant. Take all this covering off here. Push tabs. And then she's going to be sitting right there. Nothing too bad in the way. There's plenty of room in there to get it out. If I jacked it up, you probably don't have to. Tall guy. Jacked her up. I'm going to get under there and drain some coolant. Let's start by getting a clean, super clean, degreased pan we can put all the coolant into. Because we're going to reuse our coolant, probably. Good as new. Now, a couple ways you can do this. You can drain the radiator. This is just the centerpiece, not the outside. You can drain the reservoir as well, which I believe is that little guy there. Is that a sensor? Yeah, it's a sensor. But I think there's a drain there as well, maybe. Maybe that's another model. Or, seeing how we're doing the block, so what our goal is, we want to go, where's the lens? Ah, wait, ooh, oh, get down here. All right, let me back this up, hold on. All right, flip the camera. See that? That's a drain block right there. This is right above the steering rack, passenger side, behind your air conditioning pump. If I drain the block, it's also going to make a mess, but that's going to drain the block behind the thermostat, which is better than draining all the radiator and all that. So I'm going to try that method, I think. Let me just tell you, she's a 13, and she just cracked loose instantly. So this is probably going to make a mess that I'm not ready for. You know, can you ever be ready for coolant besides it being 1,000 degrees? Well, we got it pretty cool. There she goes. Now I haven't popped the cap yet, so she's gonna come out weird. I'm gonna go loosen the cap and see if we can get a better better rainfall. Alright, as I loosen the cap, she speeds up a little bit. And let's sink some back there. Let's do that. Obviously, there's a BMW coolant for this. I'll have to look up, see what that is. I'm sure it's nothing special. You can't just get over the counter. They just want you to think it's special because, you know, BMW. Our special panel tool. Some of these are, I think it's a Torx on there. T15? No, T25. That's the beeping. I went ahead and put the drain plug back in the block because I got to move the container over here. These are your hose clamps for the. I'm just gonna hit them with a little silicone. So what these clips do is they just go in like this and then just come out like that. They stay in there. The seal will ride right in that little groove. You don't have to take them out all the way. And then this connector electrical connector. Hit that with a little silicone too. So that's gonna come off. That's actually the issue. Is that the connector for the heater? Some light down in there. It doesn't want to light up down there. I could go get a light, couldn't I? Yeah. Anyway, that's what happens. The connector on this one was wet, so I'm assuming it got a little wet with coolant and caused the light, but it could be the thermostat is bad too. It's got supposedly 80,000 miles on this thing, but who knows when you get a used car. There we go, there's some light. Supposedly you just pop these out like this. That's released right there. And hopefully that silicone will make this a little easier. I don't want to pry on the plastic, that's for sure. I'll probably grab the hose and just kind of wiggle it down. And the drain pan's right underneath. I'll show you on the easy one. Clip is pulled out, sitting in the groove, and then just give it a gentle boop, boop. There we go. Look at that, frame the block and nothing comes out. That's kind of nice. I assume there's some sort of O-ring in here. So make sure that stays with it, not on the old part. All right. Now this one is quite difficult to get your hand down in there, so don't want to pry on this. It's all plastic. But it did a lot of silicone spray. I suppose you could pull the fan out if you really wanted to, but I'm gonna keep fighting it. Yeah, right. A little bit of a love tap, we call it, on this lower lip right here. Just a little tink, and that got it separated. Plus massive amounts of silicone spray, which I highly advise. There's a good shot of the clip. Just push that guy in right there. We'll push him in, and then up with the connector. So I'm going to pull the camera out and do this. I had this off before, so. Now the top bolt for the thermostat housing is a 13 on this Vanos oil line, I believe is what that is. No, I don't know. Anyway, that's comes right out. You can't really tell. And I believe the bottom ones are 10 millimeter, but we'll get there in a minute. It's 13, 10, and there's two 10s underneath. Okay, bolts are out. I think. Get the old love tapper. There we go. Maybe I'm missing one. What did I do? 3, 4? No, she was just hung up. She was just hung up. It comes out. I think I should sneak over this way. There's the big old thermostat there. Kind of rotate it. This is for me too, so I know how to get the new one back in. Aha! Like that, and like that, and like that. And that is the thermostat. Yeah, this connector was wet initially with, you can see some old coolant gel there. So there could be something wrong with this. I never did, diagnose it properly with the power and ground and all that, but I figured it's time for this anyway. It's just a rubber gasket. It's flattened out. Probably time for a new one anyway. Let's see how the surface looks in there. Yeah, we'll give that a light scraping. I got coolant all over the belt, of course, that's inevitable, but nothing a little water and something. I wouldn't degrease it. I think just soap and water. That's always done me solid for a belt. No issues there. Use a razor blade and a little Scotch-Brite. Some guys will lose their mind if you use a razor blade on aluminum, but you just want to lightly scrape, like that. You're just going like a drag. You're not digging in with it. You're dragging. get off the bulk of the stuff, and then I'll just scuff it up with Scotch-Brite. A little brake clean, perhaps. Okay, we're all cleaned up over there. Looking at my old one, there is a bunch of numbers on here, but I do see a 97 here, 97 degree. It's got to be Celsius, I'm assuming, because that's way too low to open it. Unless that's the electrical part. Could be, I don't know. You tell me in the comments, because you guys love to comment. That's sarcasm. Everything looks the same as the other one. The other one has a 97 marking on it as well. Cleaned up. I think I'll just do a little finger of silicone just to keep that rubber loose as I tighten it. You know, they have like something on it already. Probably just new rubber. Okay. Alright, she's back in, tightened by hand. Putting on the lower hose right now. I'm going to just a little silicone spray again to help alleviate that sliding. Then I'm going to clean off the electrical connector with a little brake clean and put that back together. I've been using silicone spray a lot lately. I had to do some electrical connectors on an old car, and it just, look at that, just slides right in there. Locked. That's crazy. Stuff's awesome. Alright, the radiator fill and reservoir are 1 on these. And I never had it off cold, but this is a float. I didn't get all the coolant back in, but we're probably going to start it up and run it. It's going to suck down that coolant. But I'm going to open this bleed valve here. I do all cars the same. I run them with the cap off until the thermostat opens. And then I think this one. Then I just once the thermostat opens, then I top it off, cap it off. And then, if, you know, if there's bleed valves, you do all this stuff first, of course. I think this one comes out all the way, so just crack it. And alright, let's get ready to start this bad boy. Actually, I went ahead and let the car down so that we don't get any air trapped being at an angle. Now we can start it. Top off the coolant as it warms up. I fired up the air compressor so we can blow off some fittings of compressed air. The float is up in there. Hooked up the scan tool so we can see coolant temp. We're about, turns about halfway all the time. And as you can see, without a glare, we are at 190. 192. Yeah, so we're coming up to temp, and then I gotta check. I'll get you the original code, what it was. All right, up to temp, capped it off. Man, these things run hot. It was at 213. It's up at 250 right now. 248. I'm trying to get a non-glare for you guys. 248, 249, and the fan is not even on. And like most cars. Alright, now we got some temp now. We're up 3/4. Interesting. I must have some air. Try and bleed some more air out of this. Alright, our code was P0599. Thermostat heater control circuit high. This thing is hot. She is overheated. Not overheated, it's just getting really hot. Trying to bleed out the air through that small bleeder valve. Like most cars, it's not working so well. So we're going to play with this a little bit. We get our, we're at 249 degrees. The fan is not coming on. If I put on the air conditioning, the fan will come on. But what the hell temperature does the fan come on in this thing? There we go. So I ended up taking the whole bleeder screw right out. She burped quite a bit. Still need more fluid. My fan came on, so it's been an air pocket. The fan wouldn't even run. And we're down to 194. You can see that. Put the heat on high, just help. I'm gonna go in the house, I guess, get some distilled water that I got in there. That'll help things. Bubbling away. That's what I needed to happen. And keeps dropping. Floats up there, but just keep adding a little bit more, and then I'll try and cap that off without burning myself. Well, there she is, back together. That was a strange one. Air pocket caused the fan not to come on. And so I pulled that bleeder all the way out. The bleeders are meant to be cracked and air goes, but I had to pull it all the way out, fill it so it's really coming out, which is cool. There's your max level for your dipstick. So this really should ride out. I probably need some more fluid in there. But we're running hot. Code's cleared, did not come back. I say running hot. I think they run around 210, these things. That's what I've noticed anyway. It's all aluminum engine, I guess that makes sense. She's always about halfway up. Let's see. See if we can get a non-glare for you guys. Yeah, she's at 208 right now. The fan just cycled a minute ago for some reason, so. Alright, hope that helps somebody. So that was a high resistance trouble code. Thermostat, electronically controlled for emissions and fuel economy, and I guess it's kind of a good idea for that. You can basically, it heats a heater. It heats up the wax pellet that's in there, just like a normal thermostat. So they can turn it on whenever they want for emissions, get the engine hot quick, get your heater working in the car too, probably. Alright, give me some likes, comment, talk to me, dudes and dudettes. Alright, be good, guys.